میدونستی ننه سربازی بده مرخصیش کمه ننه چرا منو زاییدی تو که دهنمو گاییدی میدونستی ننه بزرگ میشم سربازی میرم چرا دادی تو شیرم نذاشتی من بمیرم سربازم و سربازی برام یه مشت خاکه همه دار و ندار.
Why hello there, and well, today is gonna be a bit of a different video because today we're going to be talking about an explosion that happened in a civilian area in Lebanon. It happened in the capital city. As of recording this video, it happened yesterday. I just want to say that, my condolences and the condolences of my community go out to the people that suffered due to it, and it's really tragic, and I have personally never seen such a devastating bomb blast other than in fiction, like movies or video games. So it was almost unbelievable to actually see it happen. The real problem that I really had, or what I really found fishy about all of this, was that the story actually kept changing. Now keep in mind, the actual facts that we know are that obviously this took place in Lebanon's capital city of Beirut. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but something like that. A massive explosion took place in a warehouse, and due to the shock wave of that, the windows for kilometers and kilometers away got smashed. Obviously, this happened in a port. As you guys may have seen the videos, the entirety of the port just got flattened, and there was nothing left there in that sense other than a few massive buildings. It almost seemed like a mini nuke, and it's really messed up that this actually happened. And what I found fishy about this, and one of the main reasons that I'm making the video, is that the story kept changing. First of all, I actually have a list over here. First of all, they said that it was just a fireworks factory, and then after that they said that they were storing nitrogen there, and then after that it escalated to, oh, we had ammonium nitrate there. 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate next to a really important economic site. But if that wasn't bad enough, now there are rumors going around that this was possibly an arms depot site. So big let me just say this, to whoever decided to put so many important volatile materials next to a city filled with people and an important port, thanks, genius. The thing is, the fact that they just keep changing the story is the real problem here. They just go from, oh, it was this, and then people are like, you see, that tiny little, factory that makes fireworks can't cause a nuclear-like explosion. Simply saying that, oh, it was just a fireworks factory, people didn't buy it. So then they escalated it to, oh, we were storing nitrogen. Why were you storing nitrogen at a dock? Why on earth would you do that? And then on top of that, they were like, yes, ammonium nitrate. Yes, we were storing 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate. The only two things that ammonium nitrate is useful for is making fertilizers and explosives. First off, what kind of mega farm are you running if you need 2,700 tons of a material to make fertilizers? How big is your farm? Mars or some shit? Dude, what the fudge? And then the only other thing is explosives. That's what ammonium nitrate is for, other than fertilizers. So if you knew you had explosive material, why did you put so much of it in one place where you know that it can blow up? And if it blows up, it's gonna blow up your capital city and a very important port. And now there's rumors that it was an arms depot, which makes perfect sense because that's the kind of explosion I think this was. If this was a firework factory or something like that, then No, the explosion wouldn't have been such a massive explosion. It actually had a mushroom cloud like shape and then a shock wave. Similar to how I keep saying this, but it's actually similar to how a nuclear bomb would blow up. But it wasn't a nuclear bomb, most probably. Alright, so I just readjusted the camera angle. The old one was like you could see all of that, but you could just see like a little bit of this. I was like, ah yes, hello guys, hello. I was barely in frame. Yeah, but basically another thing that I find really like just off about this and a bit fishy and a bit sketchy about all of this is that, now keep in mind, Lebanon is a country in the Middle East. As we all know, the Middle East is it's a very stable region of the world. Nothing ever goes wrong there. And you know, it's a place of rainbows and sunshines, and the countries there are a-okay, guys. But yeah, you know, Lebanon was already going through this economic crisis. The country was just ravaged by corruption, as most of these, you know, developing countries are, especially in the Middle East, where the politicians really don't give a damn about the working class and everything. Ah yes, is Ali a Marxist-Leninist? I don't know. This came at a really bad time for the country because it was already at the brink of an economic collapse. And then the one port, the port that got blown up, and keep in mind, when the port got blown up, it got blown up proper. So there's really nothing left. Even if they try to, even if someone rebuilds the port, it's gonna take at least 8 to 9 months, at least. And that's best case scenario. So the country won't be making revenue from the port. And the port was so important that it was actually the final lifeline of economic revenue for the country. So, you know, without the port, the country is more or less definitely going to collapse economically. And for that reason, I just can't say that this is just a coincidence. It's like, well, it's a bit too calculated and strategic to be a coincidence. Now, personally, I think that this was definitely an attack, and even the US president thinks that it was an attack, and Trump actually said that he, amongst other US generals, think that this was an attack, not an accident. Now, Trump, you can really, you know, I'd say take whatever he says with a grain of salt. But yeah, no, I'd say that this was an attack too. If this was an attack, then, you know, there's a list of countries in the Middle East that are, you know, militarily active. Now I actually have a list right here. Basically, first of all, it's the US. Of course, the US has been involved with the Middle East ever since the 1999 Gulf War, so there's that. Then obviously there's Saudi Arabia, especially with their Yemen campaign, Iran and Israel as well. Now, out of these 4 countries, let's take a look at Saudi Arabia first of all. It doesn't really have a reason to attack Lebanon since it's just another Arab country, so why would Saudi Arabia go out of its way to attack Lebanon? It doesn't really have anything to gain from that a lot, so I doubt that it's Saudi. Then the US. The US doesn't actually have bad relations with, you know, Lebanon, because it's been trading with Lebanon for a while now. The CIA hasn't really raised a lot of questions related to it, and the US doesn't have a lot of problems with it. Now that leaves Iran and Israel. Now these are the 2 countries that do have a stake in Lebanon in terms of their militaries and their strategy and all that. Now Hezbollah is a militant group in Lebanon. It operates in Lebanon, but it's actually operated by Iran. So Iran is away from Israel and Lebanon, but even then, since Iran wants to hurt Israel for its strategic reasons, that's why it operates this militia. So, you know, it operates Hezbollah all the way in Lebanon, and then on top of that, you know, as a reaction to that, Israel also attacks Lebanon because Hezbollah, a militant group which acts against Israel, is present within Lebanon. You got that? Good, because it gets more complicated. Now the thing is, Israel's defense ministers have actually gone out of their way to say that we have actually instructed the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, to attack Lebanese infrastructure. They actually said this, to attack Lebanese infrastructure if Hezbollah continues to kill IDF soldiers. So that means that they've openly actually said that yes, now it is a part of our military strategy to actually attack Lebanese infrastructure for the sake of our country's defense and all that. Make of that what you will. I'm not gonna say a lot. And Israel has been making a lot of really threatening statements just like this for a while now. The weeks leading up to this attack. On Twitter recently, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, actually put out statements where he said that we will not allow Hezbollah to attack us from Lebanon, and we will react, and this is not just an empty threat. There will be consequences. And in a UN meeting, I believe somewhere last year, he actually held up an image, photo of where the docks of that city, Beirut, are, and he actually showed the docks, and he said that we believe that there are missile sites within that dock, which I find hard to believe, but then again, it's the Middle East, so who the fudge knows, right? There's explosives everywhere. Fudging open up the PlayStation, fudging C4 in there or something. He showed a picture of it, and he said that we are going to retaliate if you continue building these missile sites in your port. And well, here we are, the port got blown up. So is that really a coincidence? I don't know. Could be Iran. Then again, Iran hasn't really gone out of its way to say that we have a problem with that particular port in that particular city in Lebanon. So it's a bit too specific for me to just be like, oh, coincidence, I guess. Now, Israel actually has a similar posture towards Iran as well. Recently, like 99% sure, everyone practically knows, it's an open secret, Israel actually attacked many different nuclear test facilities within Iran, and they didn't attack it in a very open way. So what they did was basically they used cyber warfare, and they attacked it through messing up their systems, meaning that they would just start tampering with the electronics and the coding and everything within the building, and that caused everything to go haywire, and that actually led to a lot of fires in a lot of those facilities. So that way Israel didn't directly attack, but instead it used sabotage against a country that it deemed threatening towards its national security. Now, given that posture that Israel has, is it really impossible that it did this? Probably not. Right, so an Israeli government official, he actually went over to Facebook and he made a post which a lot of people were really angry about, rightfully so. And after the attacks happened, he retweeted one of the videos or photos of the attacks, and he said that these are spectacular pyrotechnics. Right. And he said that this is a great day for Israel because there were weapons being stored there that were going to be used against Israel, but now they've been blown up, so hooray. But the problem is you're actually celebrating a tragedy that killed around 78 people and actually injured more than 3,000, so yeah, it's pretty cringe, not gonna lie. And finally, I'm just gonna say that the way the explosion went up, first of all, just the mushroom cloud and the shockwave are two of the signs of a nuclear explosion. Again, I'm not saying that I believe it's a nuke, but keep in mind, this has been proven to be the explosion that happened in the city was 1/5 the magnitude of the explosion of Hiroshima in World War II when the US attacked Japan after Japan attacked the US. So, who's the real victim there? But yeah, I mean, it was actually 1/5 the explosion of a nuclear bomb. Like I said, the shape just seemed really similar to how a mushroom cloud for a nuke forms, but I can't really say that it was. Although the fact that radiation levels spiked in the city the moment that the explosion happened and then slowly, gradually went down, that's another indicator as well.
Now, I thought that looked like a bomb just hit Beirut. Not even a bomb placed, but an actual kinetic missile or a bomb dropped, a smart bomb. We don't know yet, but what I did think about this, and I was speaking with a friend prior to the show, that there was a mysterious munition used in Syria. And no one really knows what it was, but there was video that came out. This is 7 months ago. And this video, now looking at the videos we've seen come out of Beirut, it looks strikingly similar in the aftermath. See this?
That's 7 months ago?
7 months ago. And what caught that was the shockwaves what shocked me. I haven't seen a shockwave like that before. It's very distinctive.
Until today.
It's very distinctive.
It's the same shape. Everything looks identical.
It looks like an air bubble coming up and then dissipating. That's exactly what we saw in Beirut.
Like a low-yield nuclear blast.
Yes, and the Israelis and Americans refer to this as bunker busters. The Moab could be considered the most powerful bunker buster we have in our arsenal.
Now, there's this YouTube channel called Covert Cabal, so you can watch one of his videos on low-yield nuclear weapons. And what he said in the video about low-yield nukes was basically countries are finding ways to lessen the impact of a nuclear weapon rather than increase it, because it's much easier to attack one strategic part of a city and destroy that one part, because then, since the damage isn't as high as destroying the entire city, the UN won't be as angry and the international community won't crack down on your country. So creating a low-yield nuclear weapon, as the name suggests, its blast radius is much smaller and its damage is much smaller. For that reason, you can actually attack a lot of strategic points within a city without destroying the rest of it, at least entirely. But you will send shockwaves. So, the shockwaves that were sent across the city, this is all speculation. But then again, at this point, life has just turned into like a fudging Matrix simulation or something, like Inception, but in real life all the time. I don't know what to believe anymore, okay? I'm losing my fudging mind. Anyhow, yeah. So, you know what? Help me out with this, guys. Go down in the comment section down below and let me know what you think. Give me your theories, give me what you thought about it. If there's information that I missed, please do let me know. So yeah, comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. We reached 158 subscribers, I think, or maybe it's 48, I'm not sure, but either way, it's fucking great. Subscribe and turn on notifications so that every time I upload a video just like this, you get notified so you can watch it and give me them sweet views. Just kidding. Not really. And yeah, till next time, stay safe, and definitely if you're in Lebanon, and peace out.